Best Medicine Podcast with Simba. Sparking positive change in the community. Having real conversations and therapy. You know that laughter's the best remedy. Got that heavy dose of humor for your hearts to heal. With mental health, it can't get any more real, yeah. Best Medicine Podcast. Laugh, love, learn. Best Medicine Podcast.
The morning I woke next to you. Your arms were sprawled out, extending from your torso like strong branches, and your breath was like oxidation, steady and slow, changing you right before my eyes, and my eyes were open windows of a cabin, taking in my surroundings, drinking them up. I could see the carvings on your bark, initials of lovers past sketched lazily and ruggedly into your skin. I smile as I hear your roots crack. Your eyes open like a sun breaching the horizon on an unexpectedly beautiful morning. You are my favorite day of the week. Words glide across your tongue when you speak, smooth as fresh air on flushed cheeks, and I realized the moment that breath escaped your lips and you spoke that I want to grow with you. I want to sprout from the soil and make something beautiful with you. I want our words to build a forest, a national park comprised of our memories, and I want to cut into your trunk and see the lines of the years you've lived. You make me feel like a redwood tree, as if I were never something as small as a seedling, and I want to love you the way that hippies love vegetarian pizza. I want to measure our days and the marks a mother makes on the wall behind her excited toddler's head, and watch them grow as the years pass us, stretching far above us and reaching the ceiling. Your chest will be my favorite hiding place when the wild things come to me in unwanted dreams. I think about the tempo in your smile and the song in your laugh. I'm going to write a symphony with your best parts, and an audience will cry at the beautiful things that you have managed to create just by being yourself. And I hope that your greatest ideas will blossom into a secret garden that you will reveal only on your drunkest of nights. Your ideologies will fall on listeners in the form of a rainstorm, striking lightning when passion builds and you can't have just rumbling thunder anymore. I can no longer keep track of the days. The sundial is broken. The calendar no longer matters, and I don't care because of all of the time that we have spent picking stories to tell from rose bushes. Your spirit is as tall as a sunflower, towering over me as I smile at the amount of positivity that you allow me to take in. And our bed, it looks like a nest now, worn in from the days that we don't feel like moving.
Best Man Pod, it's your man Simba Roar, back in this thing one more time, bruh. And today, I have a special guest. If you listen to the diagnosis, you know that all I have are special guests. And today ain't no different. Today, I'm excited. Cheesing already, look at you. Today I'm very excited because I have, I'll say, a protege of mine. Yeah, this person is someone who I mentor on a daily basis, and I give guidance and wisdom to. She's like one of the few people who actually listen to me about stuff. It's like, I'm going off on a tangent. People never listen to Simba until they're dead. I don't understand it. Like, I give great advice, and then I give people advice, and then it's just like they don't use it, and then their lives fail, and then I'm just like, bruh, maybe if you would have taken my advice, you wouldn't be dead right now. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know for a fact, but in the parallel universe, you took my advice. And you're still alive. Now I'm at your funeral. So that's just the life that I live. But yeah, this person actually takes what I have to say, and they may not use all of it, but they actually like listen. This person calls me Jiminy Cricket, because I'm always the like conscious that she hears in her head. It's like, do it this way. No, don't do it that way. Do it this way. And then they do it. Today, I have a young lady who has come into her own power this year, and after a couple of setbacks, she is focusing on the woman that she's becoming. She is an educator of young children. She's an author. She's a poet. She's an amazing person. I want to introduce you to Lyric.
Hello. That was like the best introduction ever. My heart is warmed.
I'm trying. I'm not trying. I will have better intros than Sway. I will. Come on, man. I will, man. Sway, I love you. You from Oakland. Mm-hmm. I look up to you, bro. Straight up. I'm a citizen of Sway's universe. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Very unexpected, but very glad to be here.
Unexpected. So, tell my millions of fans and listeners and supporters and loved ones, who is Lyric?
That question always sends me into an existential crisis.
That you have a poem about that.
I do have a poem about that. Lyric is multifaceted, and it's always weird to talk about myself in the third person.
You have to disassociate.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'm terrible with that. But I definitely, I'm a lover. I'm a nurturer at heart. I write about love often, if not 95% of the time. I'm definitely a caregiver to a lot of people, especially my mama. Shout out, mama. I love you. Hey, that's my best friend. And let's see, I just started working with kids recently, and I'm very excited for that because in the next year or so, I'm also going to be introducing a couple of things that I feel would be very helpful to their growth.
What ages?
Age 5 to 10.
Ooh.
So I actually have a couple of like preschoolers that are in there. So we have like 3 preschoolers, and then the rest are kinder through 5th grade.
Okay.
And they're really cute. They're really sweet, but they're still learning and getting through how to be humans. Yes. So you have to kind of have a lot of patience with them, and but they're very smart. You can't underestimate them. Like they're like the smartest. They're just little adults. So they're just little grown people walking around. So you always have to take that into account when you're dealing with them because they're extremely smart.
So adults are like large babies?
Precisely, yes. Mm-hmm. Like we start out as babies and then we end as babies. Like we end up back in diapers and like unable to feed ourselves and do anything for ourselves at the end of our lives. So full circle.
Yeah, that's a cycle of life. It's the
circle.
We can't even get sued. Stop it. They'll flag this whole shit. The Mickey Mouse will come out the.
Walt Disney go rise.
What you thought? I don't need no problems with Mickey Mouse, dog. Like,
Walt just gonna rise from the dead.
It's not even gonna be Walt. It's gonna be Mickey Mouse. He gonna slide through with all his little cartoon goons. I digress.
But yeah, it's definitely eventful. So I actually found out before my kids went on winter break that a couple of them really enjoy poetry, and so I did a piece for one of the girls. Her name is Zuri. She's very sweet. She's so smart. Like she's like 25 mentally, but she's like 9. Super smart, like doing like 7th grade math and the 3rd grade, and like really, really intelligent girl. And she wrote a poem for one of the organizers of the after school program, and like she read it to me, and it was really clever. And so I did a piece for her that is about like nature in the form of love. And so I did that one, and she like loved it, and she wanted her dad to hear it. And I told her that I was going to be introducing like poetry and creative writing for them next year, and her eyes just lit up.
That's cool.
And that was so great to see, because that was around the age that I really started enjoying writing and loved writing. So the fact that that I sparked that in her just like made my entire day. So I'm excited to be able to do that, and then I'm also going to introduce American Sign Language to the kiddies.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful when the thing that you love, you see another student love that same thing, and it's just in the infancy of it.
Yeah.
It's like they don't really know why they love it yet. It's just something about them that says, hey, I need to write this.
Right. I really like this. I enjoy doing this. There's one, he's a kindergartner, and he's the best one at art I've ever seen. Like, he loves arts and crafts, and he does it so well. He's always the first one done, and he's always very polite and quiet, and the only time he ever gets excited is with one other person. And it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. So I know that he's going to grow up and be an amazing artist just because of how well he does, and he's so color coordinated. I'm like, dude, you're 4. Like, you already know how to stay inside of the lines and everything. Like, I was struggling at that point.
Little brother will have all the swag.
So, definitely, it's definitely an eye-opening experience working with ones that are that small.
I gave, I work with middle school.
Yeah.
So I had poetry. I did a poetry reading in class for my little group that I have when for math class first period, and I found this book. Say what this is called. What is this book called?
This book is called Planting Gardens and Graves.
By who?
By R.H. Sin.
Volume 2. So I found this book during SSR. If you don't know what an SSR is, man, it's a waste of my time. That's what it really is. So the kids, I believe, like either Monday and Friday, like they have SSR, which is sustained style reading, where they just have to sit down and be quiet for 20 minutes and read a book because their reading levels are very, very low. So one of my girls were fake reading this book, and I was like, girl, give me this book. So I looked at it. I'm like, oh, it's a poetry book. Dope. So I grabbed it and I just started reading it, and I'm gonna read one. This is called More Than None. Most of the men you meet will have nothing to offer. Choose yourself more often. Choose a life without their BS. And they're just small little poems that she wrote about love and heartbreak and just accountability. And I just kept reading it to the girls, and they were just like, yes, Mr. Jackson, yes, yes. It was so cute.
Go off, sis.
Yeah, it was so cute. So R.H. Sin, shout out to you. You inspired 2 little girls who probably wouldn't even be into poetry.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's lovely. I love that. Oh my gosh. I think my love for poetry started, I think I was maybe like 5 or 6. My mom had those, what are the compilation poetry books that they had in elementary school. Something about the sidewalk. I always mess up the name, but
it's fine.
Yeah, but it's those books, just, they had such like little creepy ones in there, and then they had different types, and that was like the first time that I was really ever into it. My mom was always super animated when reading to me.
Right.
Like every night before I went to bed, she had to read to me. And so it became my favorite thing. And then poems just became more and more interesting to me. Like, rhyming was just fun. And then the older that it really is so fun, like, for no reason. Just, like, just in the middle of the day, just rhyme something for, like, absolutely no reason. Just feeling like Dr. Seuss, like, in the middle of the afternoon. And, the older that I got, like, I really liked free verse poetry and, like, spoken word. And, high school, being in a performing arts academy, and we had to do things like creative writing. And then I also did, like, AP, like, English language arts and stuff, so they always had us writing different things. And I think it was a couple years before I graduated, I think it was like sophomore, junior year, I really delved deep into it because I was going through like a bad place emotionally. So I let out a lot of my pain into my writing. And then for a while, because it felt like that's all I was doing, I like just shut off from writing and like went into like a writer's block for a long time and didn't even revisit it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I just stopped writing out of nowhere because I was like, nah, this ain't doing what I thought it was going to do. And then I felt like I was comparing myself too much to what other people were doing and how great other people were, and listening to my favorite poets and not feeling like I would ever be good enough like that. But that was just me doubting myself.
That's why I stopped rapping.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I stopped rapping. I never wanted to be a rapper. Mm-hmm. I just rhyme words really well. But that's why I never really said I was a rapper. Because I'm not a rapper. I don't have shit to rap about. But I can rhyme your head off, though. I'll rhyme your head off, like, all day, all night. But it's because it's like I'll listen to somebody and it's like, how are you even doing that? Mm-hmm. How are you even putting these words together in this order, sequentially? Like, how are you rhyming these words together? Lupe Fiasco is one of the most phenomenal rappers that have ever touched a microphone. The way he raps, and he'll say a whole verse, and that whole verse means something completely different from the context that you understand it. And it's like, bro, how does what? I'm just gonna stop because I'm not able to do that. I'm not able to do that.
Right.
But I think sometimes it's just like for those goals, like you're not gonna be a rapper, bro. Just quit. You can be a rhymer, but you're not gonna be a rapper, bro. And that's okay. Because we don't need any more rappers. Bro, there's so many rappers, bro. That's what you want to do.
Oversaturated.
Because you just want to rap because you have a skill of rhyming words without the understanding that you could be so much more in the music business.
Very much so.
Like, rap is like the lowest tier in the music business. There's so many people, so many job titles that make more than a rapper. But all we teach is, hey, be a rapper, you're going to make millions of dollars.
Right.
No, they're not. It's only like 20 people who are making tons of money in rap. Everybody else is getting raped.
But it's also because they have, like, teams behind them.
Yeah, true.
That's why they're making so much money, is because of the people. It's like you can't put on a play without the stagehand. You can, but it's not going to be a good play. You need production. No, absolutely not.
Yes, you need production, and those are the people. Like I was talking about when we was listening to Tory Lanez, and it's just Tory don't sound like that. His engineer makes him sound like that. Mm-hmm. His engineer makes him great. That we have to respect the people behind the people that you see. Like, I'm in the situation right now where I'm dealing with the artist, and everybody sees him, right? Not knowing that, yo, hi, hello.
Hi, I'm here.
Yes,
What's up?
but I don't want you to talk to me. You could talk to him all day. He was gonna talk to you all day. Don't talk to me unless it's about business. Respect the people behind the people that you see.
Real shit.
Because you disrespect me, right? He's not gonna work with you. That's the way it goes. Stupid. That moral of my story was stop trying to rap, kids. Yeah, bro. I mean, is that bad?
No.
Like, you're not gonna make it, bro. You're not gonna make it, bro, in rap. Do something different. Do something different. You can make a lot of money making music, but not being a rapper.
Be a writer.
Come on.
Be a producer.
Yes. You can write music for television. For movies. You know, like, and you'll get way bigger checks than just a rap single.
Very true.
The shelf life of rappers is like 3 years.
But you can constantly be behind the scenes on different shit.
Forever.
There's infinite possibilities with that because you're not just stuck in one thing. You're not made just like, oh, I just have to do this.
Yeah.
I can only do this. Like, no, you can write anything. You can produce anything. It's your choice.
That's why you have rappers turning into actors. You have A$AP Rocky doing crazy in fashion.
Yeah.
Because rhyming words is not paying for nothing.
It's cool, but they get tired.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in front of somebody's face forever.
No, I don't. I never want to be. I never want people to see me.
So, like, who wants to be in front? Like, who wants to be under a microscope and being examined like all day?
Yeah.
By everybody for the rest of their lives.
That's
that's one of the reasons why I never want to be famous.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, it's cool to like have people know my work. It's cool to have people like what I do. But I just don't want to be famous.
No.
That's never been a goal for me. At one point I wanted to audition for America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
When I thought I had a little bit of vocals. But I didn't do it. One, because like there was stuff going on, and then also I didn't want to be on TV.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh, you're the girl from America's Got Talent.
Like, no, because I'm not trying to have like nobody try and come forward in my life for no reason. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Let me stay where I'm at. Y'all can listen. Y'all can do whatever. Just don't. No, I don't want to be famous. This is not what I'm here for. Sorry. Not here for it.
So high school brought you onto the stage.
Yeah, I was. I'd always done like theatrical stuff since I was younger.
Yeah.
Even in elementary school, I went to this school for gifted and talented children.
Oh, are you gifted?
I guess.
Are you X-Men?
Like, nah, not there.
You wouldn't tell me if you were anyway. Go ahead.
Nah, I wouldn't. But I had this acting teacher in elementary school, and she actually wrote a play, and it was hilarious because it was taking bits and pieces of each of Shakespeare's works.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was called Hey Shakespeare, Get a Job. And it was...
That's really good.
And it was about, like, his life while being a writer. And his family life and, like, him and the actual story of his wives and his daughter and his, like, parents.
Right.
And all this stuff and how they told him he would never be successful type of thing. And I was one of the witches and the double toil and trouble thing. And there's a whole choreography scene and everything. Like, whole play was fired. Like... I loved it, and I was in, like, 4th grade.
Yeah.
But, like, so none of us understood where her mind was with it.
Right.
But she did this with children. So she would have taken this with adults, it would have been even more fire. But it was so cool. Like, we did Seussical the Musical. We did Guys and Dolls, Fiddler on the Roof. Like, I was always in the theater, always doing white-ass plays.
But
real quick. Mm-hmm. One of the funniest jokes was, yeah, we're doing an all black version of Fiddler on the Roof. It's called Fiddler Please. That shit was crazy.
I can't. That's hilarious.
Fiddler Please.
Excuse me. But that led into me wanting to do performing arts when I got into high school.
Right.
And then I actually chose acting and dance as like my forefront. We were required to do acting, singing, and dancing. Right. But we got to choose which electives we wanted to go with after freshman year, and acting was my first choice, and then dance was second, but dance was like our PE thing, but loved it. Acting really brought me out of my shell emotionally. Yeah. Because I was really in my shell for a long time, and then it kind of reverted back just out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. But it made me more comfortable, like, on stage, but I still had never, like, done anything that I'd written until, like, senior year when we were made to do our senior project, where we had to actually do a whole production off of something that we had written, and it had to be like 20 minutes and have a bunch of different stuff going on, and none of us knew what we were writing or what we were doing, and it was a hot mess. And then I ended up reading a poem at the end of it, but it wasn't mine. It was one that I felt related to, like, our graduation situation, and it was by one of my favorite poets. Shout out Andrea Gibson, my favorite woman ever. I love her. Oh my gosh, I would marry her. But I read a piece of hers at my senior project, and that was, like, my first time ever reading poetry on stage.
What was the story? What was the play about?
The play, it was... Wow, it's been so long, I can barely remember. It went through the phases of our lives at the academy. So It was... We took it and made it more realistic, and it went through the stages of what they taught us, in a way, like what each of our pillars was, because we had pillars that we had to complete before we graduated from the academy. So we had, don't remember what the pillars are, so please don't ask me.
No. but name the pillars right now.
There was like 5 pillars that we had to complete, and after that we had that graduation and our regular high school graduation. But senior year was the first time I ever touched a mic with a poem. And then after that, poetry was just like the way that I looked at the world. So everything that I saw, I started writing about. And I think that's where my descriptiveness comes from in my writing, is because of how I observe the world in general. So it makes it a lot easier for me to write about things because of the way that I look at things.
Her metaphors and analogies are otherworldly, to say the least. I'm like, how did you get A to B? How did you connect that? Why do you write about love?
That's a good question. I'm actually writing a piece about that.
You're writing a piece about why
I write
you
about
write
love.
about love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the poetry scene a lot.
Yes, you are.
And I hear a lot of sad poems, bro. Like, one night I was just like, shout out to Alley Cat. Everybody go listen to Chit Chat with Alley Cat on Spotify and all the other things. I was talking to Alley Cat, and I was like, hey, Alley Cat. Yeah, Simba.
I love her.
Alley Cat, don't punch me in the face, please. I was just like, do people make happy poems? Question mark. She was like, no. They don't. And y'all need to make some happy poems, bro. Like, you can't just talk about sadness all the time. Like, I found a blog that I used to write in high school, and like from like maybe 17 to like 18 or 19, and it was just dark. It was dark. I was a sad little boy. He was like
emo kid for sure.
I'm not even the emo. I'm definitely an emo kid. I was the black emo kid, so I was like, I wasn't an emo kid, like not the stereotypical emo kid. But I was definitely hella emotional. Like it was just like my whole shit was like, I want to love someone, and no one likes me.
Oh.
It's like all the girls that I like don't like me.
That's really sad.
That was me. It's like, oh, I have a girlfriend now, and she likes me so much. Oh, she left me. That was just me. And
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, hey, bro, like, shit is shit, bro. I was fucking emotional. I just wanted somebody to love me at that time, and they didn't, and it reflected on my blog. I wrote a lot of poetry around that time. It was all fucking sad. And then, because I was doing poetry, so like, because I'm a Gemini,
yeah.
So like half of my shit was just poetry, like whoa, not even what was me. It was just like Edgar Allan Poe and shit, like Nevermore, like. And then the other half was just me trying to rap like Young Dro. It was just like, yeah, I was like, yeah, Cartier with the blueberry tints. Gas it, nigga. I've never seen a Cartier glasses, bro. I've never seen Cartier glasses.
Held a pair.
What I'm talking about. I got. Not only do I have them, I didn't even Google them. I just wrote about it because I heard niggas talk about it. I told you I'm trying to be Young Dro. I was like, I'm like, Young Dro say Cartier, I say Cartier, and he would just say like a name brand and then like a ridiculous color, like. So I was like, Cartier's blueberry tints. Fire, boy. Like,
what?
Come on, Blue. You got blueberry Cartiers. Nigga, I'm stuck.
Ain't nobody got blueberry Cartiers.
I got them though in my raps.
You manifesting them.
Come on, bro. I don't want blue sunglasses. What the fuck? What am I doing, 17-year-old me? There's nothing to rap about, bro. Like, but yeah, I enjoyed. So my 9th grade year, I did choir. Mm-hmm. I'm a musical head, and then my sophomore year, I did theater arts. So that's where my love, like, that's not really where my love of musicals come from, but I was never in, like, any of the plays or anything like that, but I love singing, and I love acting, and I love comedy. Mm-hmm. And when those three things are together, it's unstoppable. Like, that shit is, like, a funny song is the best thing ever. That's why I make parodies all the time. Like, I made so many parodies. Jeez. Weird Al, Eat Your Heart Out.
It's coming for you, Yankovic.
Oh, yeah, man. You're getting old. You know what I mean? And I'm weird as fuck, so hey.
We're all gonna have dreads.
I mean, didn't he already? Like,
are we gonna call those dreads?
Those are lockish. Those are Goldilocks.
Goldilocks?
Weird Al had Goldilocks. That's hysterical.
Oh my goodness.
So lyric.
Yes.
Love means what to you?
Goodness. That is a very open question.
It is. It's a hard-hitting question.
It really is.
I asked the hard-hitting questions on the diagnosis.
Love means a lot. Love is a lot of different things. Love can be biblical, like how they say love is patient, love is kind, all that stuff. But love is also, like, unwavering and unconditional, and it's small sentiments. There's love in so many different ways other than romantic as well. And I write about love so much because for a lot of time in my life, I really lacked real love, like the true meaning of it, which is unconditional and whatever else. I don't know, like, the best way that I describe love and what it means is in my writing. Because sometimes it's the hardest thing to talk about directly, but it's the easiest thing to describe.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't say, like, oh, love is this, love is that, but it can be described in metaphors. It can be described in moments and in things that just happen on a daily basis that portray that to where it's like, I can't even say it. You just have to look at it. This is what it is. This is love. And so, like, that, when you see a mother and a daughter dancing on, like, a dance floor in the middle of a party, like, that's love. When you see, I don't know, like, the way that somebody's eyes lights up when they look at the person sitting next to them, that's love.
Love is an action.
It is.
Love is like the wind. That's how she starts her poetry. Love is like the wind. It blows gently on your face, and you smile because of it.
Basically.
If y'all have never heard lyrics.
If nobody's ever heard me, I'm very gentle on the mic. I'm very gentle.
Those are bars. Those are bars.
He over here trying to gas himself while mimicking me.
You have bars. Love is like the wind. It breezes softly on your face, and you smile because of it. That's bars. Y'all have to watch her perform. Because when she performs, it's like, it's a lullaby. She's a siren.
I have a siren song.
And it just lulls you into a state of security and peace. And she's just talking about how much she loves you. And it's like, so like everybody in the room is in love because it's just like,
audible sigh.
Yeah, like I've literally seen a whole like nightclub go completely silent just to watch her perform.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's still crazy to me how quiet it gets. Like, that's wild.
A nightclub, like not like a little room where they do poetry. A nightclub on this stage. Nobody's talking. Everybody like, hey, shh. Lyric perform, be quiet.
It's that's definitely, it's surprising to me, but I love that because I really have people listening, and it's because I want everybody to experience that gentleness.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, kind of like with just people in general, you don't know what they're going through before they meet you, before they see you.
Yeah.
So why greet somebody ever with like viciousness or anything like that? Same thing with performing. So I just, pardon me, I performed gently because I want people to feel relaxed. And I had one person, I love her to death, shout out 6 footer. Sexy 6. I love her. She told me, she was like, you're the only person that I can listen to read something like that and not get annoyed by it, or like you're the only person I can listen to because it pulls you in. And I'm very grateful for that because sometimes I feel like I bore people, or like they're like, damn, like like does she have another tone, like does she have something else? So it's really nice to hear that it does its job.
Definitely coming from somebody as dynamic as 6.
Man, goodness. So that always feels really good. And I think the best thing too is that I'm starting to come. I can still do that. That's my specialty. But I'm starting to come out of that.
Yeah, you are.
And do other pieces.
Yeah, you are.
That are out of my comfort zone for sure. Like my piece about who I am is definitely out of my comfort zone. It's a mood. It's a side of me. It's still gentle, but it's a side of me that I haven't shown.
Right.
And it's not about love and like being completely in love with anybody. It's just inquisitive. Right. It's introspective. And
it's an introduction to you.
Yes, it is. Very much so. That is definitely an introduction to who I am. That's the deepest I've gone with myself in my poetry, if that makes sense. That is the most intense dive that I've ever had within myself while writing to this date. And it really kept like hitting on me to do it at Speak On It. Shout out Tiff.
Real quick, shout out to 6 Footer, the poet. Man. So follow her at 6 Footer, SIXFOOTAH_ the poet. Shout out to Speak On It. Follow Speak On It at Speak_on it. Yeah, real quick. Yeah. Just my plugs.
So, shout out. Speak On It felt like the perfect place to premiere that poem. I had written it and I thought about doing it at other places, but it just wasn't sitting right, and it kept like literally knocking me in my noggin, like, hey, like do this here, like you have to do it here. Yeah. And it came across so well, and it was received so well, and I just felt the energy and the love from it that it was. I was very happy that I did it there. And, I don't know. I'm excited for what 2020 has to bring me in regards to my poetry and my growth, because there's a few pieces that I'm working on right now that are still different than what I normally write, in the tone of what I normally write. And that's something that I really do enjoy, because I don't feel like I'm going to be stuck in this stigma of just being a love poet. Though that's what I'm very good at. I don't want to just be like a love poet.
Yeah, because that gets boring.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, it does. Like, it's great. And I can give you a lullaby all day. At any given moment, I can read you one. Yeah. But...
That's facts.
But I want to do more than that. Yeah. And so that's
let people know who you are and not all about the person you're in love with.
Precisely.
Because, you could talk about, you were the most blah, 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 blah in the world. And you made me feel like blah, 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 blah. All day long. Right. That the artist never really knows who you are as a person. And especially for spoken word, it's really important to tell your story. Mm-hmm. Not telling other people's stories through you. If it doesn't have to do with like moving something forward. Mm-hmm. When have you? So poetry. Have you performed poetry in public outside of that time in high school?
So the birthplace of me performing poetry in public was the first piece ever. And then July of this year, I forget exactly what date it was, but shout out to Janae for On the Reel. I believe it was her third one that she did. Yep. And it was at Sultry in Oakland.
Most On lovely, the Reel ____.
That was the birthplace for it. I saw her. She helped me get ready for my high school prom, mind you. Oh, wow. Yeah, so her and Aminique, Aminique did my hair. She was the only person I ever trusted in my head when I was in high school. And I went over to her apartment, and they helped me get ready for my high school prom. And then that was the first time, so it was 4 years later that she had seen me. And it was the perfect place, like, because I was like, I just kept asking. I saw the one before that one. I was like, are you going to have another one of these? And she let me know. And I thought I wasn't going to make it because I was stuck in traffic because I always live super far from these events. So I'm always busting missions to get this way to come to events and stuff. And that day was wonderful. I was super intimidated at first, though. Super intimidated. Just for the simple fact that I had never been in an environment with other people reading poetry and performing poetry, and they were doing it without their phones. And I had my phone and my notes, and I only had one poem memorized, and it's because it was like my baby that I had written in high school. And I had to follow Natrice. I had to follow Miss Essence Mahogany. And that alone was so intimidating. I looked at Janae and I was like, how am I supposed to follow that? And they're like, you hold your own. Like, don't even worry about it. But
at
she
Natrice.Spicer.
Yes. That is my mom.
Natrice.Spicer. Natrice.Spicer.
That is my mom. That's my poetry mom.
We're giving you powerful women behind the microphone right now.
These women inspire me so much, like, constantly. It's ridiculous. Seeing her perform, I fell in love automatically. Yeah. She heard me perform after her, and she told me, she said out loud, I think I'm ready to fall in love and have somebody baby. Yeah. Like, that was the first thing that she said. Mm-hmm. And she gave me the biggest hug, and that, like, though I didn't need the validation, it was greatly appreciated. Definitely. And especially coming from her and just being absolutely blown away by her, that in itself was like, whoa, what is this?
You
what is
to
today?
be at the table.
That's what it felt like. And ever since then, just moving forward in my performances, I was trying to find more places to perform. So I actually hit up shout out Majestic June, and I was like, hey, do you know any like open mics that are around here that I could do? And she started just hitting me with a bunch of different accounts. Boom, 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 boom. Like, so there was a whole bunch of different places that were recommended, and so
shout out to Majestic. I love her.
Shout out. And I went to high school with her for a couple of years.
Majestic June on Instagram.
Yes. So she is fantastic, and we actually reintroduced ourselves to each other recently. Yeah. Because it'd been a while. We went to high school together, but we didn't really know each other. So seeing each other at an event, and we reintroduced, and it was lovely, like getting to meet her in this space where we both happened to just end up. Like, our callings kind of brought us in the same place again, and that was cool. And I felt like the more that I was trusting and just following this path, the more that I was being rewarded universally.
Definitely, because that's where you were supposed to be.
And it kept getting better. Yeah. And then being introduced to you, and you actually put me on to my first showcase.
Did I?
Yeah. Yes, you did. So
sounds like a nice young man, huh?
So that was an eye-opening experience because I'd never been a part of that. I'd never been a part of something like that. And I'm very grateful for that. Super grateful still to this day, because that even helped me more get out of my shell, because at that point I'd only performed like twice. Right. And the other time that I performed, it was like in a coffee shop in the middle of San Francisco. Right. And I was nervous. Like, but actually just stepping out and having my name on something and being a part of it, like, it was different. And it was eye-opening, and it made me feel like, okay, this is definitely what I'm supposed to do. Right. No matter how big of a scale it is, this is what I'm supposed to do.
You were a wreck that night. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so nervous.
He was like, breathe. Like, literally, like, take me into a meditation corner and just, like, make me shut off from everything and try and focus, so that way I could, like, because not only did it was my first time doing that, I had to do a very vulnerable piece.
Very vulnerable.
Super vulnerable piece. Yeah. Like, I had just written that piece.
Yeah, you did.
And I had just memorized it. And then the conversation that I had to have on that stage was incomparable to anything else I had ever done.
Right.
And I was, one, nervous about how it would be received by other people and if they would be able to relate. Though that wasn't necessarily the point of it, was for it to be relatable. It was for myself. It was still, that's still like a criticism, like a critique that I have in my head. Like, I want it to be understood.
Right.
And I was shaking. I was shaking so bad the entire time because it was a poem about my body. Like, not just like about my body. Like, yeah, I got this. Like, you know, I look good. Like, no, it was apologizing to myself for mistreating myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm so sorry. Like, I only ever cared about what other people had to say about you, and I never took how you felt or what you were going through into consideration. And I am so sorry.
Right.
Like, I can't expect anyone to respect you if I don't.
That's real. Apologize to yourself for treating yourself poorly.
Because I realized, like, this is my favorite line, my body, my temple, the lamp to my genie spirit. Yeah. Like, this is literally my home to my soul. And I'm not keeping my garden up. I'm not mowing the lawn. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. I'm not fixing the cracks in the foundation when I see them. So it's like I'm...
And then wondering why
I don't get my deposit back. I'm fucking up everything.
That's hysterical.
Like, I'm wondering why shit keeps, like, going wrong, but my home isn't right.
Right.
Like, my shelter, like, and that's my own fault, and I have to take responsibility for that. Like, I'll be forever angry at myself, and I keep wondering why my body feels like it's breaking down on me, but it's because of my own doing. Whether it's intentional or not, whether it's mental or emotional or just physically what's happening, it's 90%, if not all, of my fault. Yeah. And I'm sorry.
Accountability is definitely necessary before you can grow.
Absolutely. Because if you don't understand what you did and if you're not willing to accept what you did, then you're not going to move forward. You're going to stay stuck.
Very true.
Like, you can't expect your garden to keep growing if you're like, oh, well, my weeds are pretty, so they fit in. Like, that's fine. Like, no, you have a fucking problem. Yeah. Like, the roots to these weeds are intertwining with your roses and making the bushes die. And you're wondering why there's no growth.
Talk about it.
You have to pull your weeds. You have to pluck that shit. You have to get rid of it.
Get rid of your toxic bullshit.
Exactly. Absolutely. What is not growing is dead. So, like, you can't stay stagnant or, like, just be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to stay here in this pot.
Right.
And not realize that you have to remove that and put it into a bigger pot. Mm-hmm. And keep replanting and when that growth needs to happen. Because at one point you're just going to be stuck. And you can actually harm yourself more by keeping yourself in this space.
When you grow out of your spaces.
Exactly.
When you grow out of your spaces, you need to leave your space.
Why do you think hermit crabs do what hermit crabs do? When they outgrow their homes, when they outgrow their shell, they have to literally shed themselves and force themselves out of that environment and be vulnerable for a while until they can find a new home.
Definitely.
Until they can feel comfortable, until they're in the right space for themselves again.
So are hermit crabs the smartest creatures ever? And like snakes.
They're like the most conscious creatures without being conscious about it. Like, spiritually conscious. Yeah. So it's like, I know, but I don't know. I always say that.
The smartest thing to do is know that you don't know. You can have some answers, but you don't really know. Yeah. We don't know nothing.
It's all an illusion.
We're all in the Matrix. So it's New Year's Eve.
Yes, it is.
2019.
Yes, it is.
What's your New Year's resolution?
Oh my goodness.
No. What do you want to manifest in the coming decade? Not just next year.
Because it's not only the end of the year, it's the start of a new decade.
New decade. And
new era.
This is the first, decade in which you've been an adult.
Yeah, a complete adult. Not even a complete adult, a starting adult. I'm still a baby.
Yeah,
I'm still a baby.
You're just a grown-up.
Yeah. I'm of age.
Yeah, real talk.
I'm of age. I still need an adult to make appointments for me. So it's like, I'm mom, so not completely there yet. But going into this decade, I'm manifesting stability.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just mean financial. Mm-hmm. That means emotional.
Yeah.
Mental as fuck. Just completely. I'm going to have, not yes. I want, I'm going yes. to have.
Speak it.
I'm going to have stability. I'm going to have a career that doesn't consist of me doing normal, quote-unquote things. I'm going to make an impact in these kids' lives by the time that they leave our program. Let's see. I am manifesting, though it is not on the forefront, I am manifesting love in the highest degree. I keep saying I want because I'm so used to that. I know that it's coming when it is supposed to and in its time. I'm in no rush. I'm definitely manifesting making an impact not only in my kids' lives that I work with, but just in the people around me. Because I've seen recently what I do for people that I never knew or never recognized before.
Yeah.
And I want to grow on that. And I'm going to. And I want to find different ways to play on that and make a bigger impact in my loved ones' lives. So, whatever that may mean.
From 2020 to 2030.
It's honestly, I don't have anything that sticks out. I don't really ask for much.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely need this, I need that. No, that never comes into my brain. I'm letting the universe do what it's supposed to do with me. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I can make requests every now and then, but I don't necessarily have a list of things. I haven't made a list of things that I want to manifest or that I am manifesting.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think it's important both ways to know what you want to manifest and know that what you manifest may not be in your plans. And be okay with that.
Right. I think the universe rewards us for not having a plan sometimes.
Oh, yeah, because the
trusting.
Yeah, the universe doesn't give a fuck about your plans.
Absolutely not.
People go on vacation on a cruise and then the fucking cruise ship sinks. They didn't expect that. They were just trying to turn up on a boat. Come on, bro.
Mother Nature said, nah, fam.
Fuck your plans. Fuck your plans. Allow the universe to give you exactly what you need and know that whatever you get
is exactly what I need at that point.
And a representation of what you're giving.
Reciprocity. Yeah. So you can't expect what you're not willing to give at all.
Yeah. Ever.
In any sort of relationship, even if it is metaphysical and it's outside of you, you can't expect to constantly I want to receive kindness, I want to receive love, I want this to come on me, but you're not giving anything
right.
for that. You're not giving out love. You're not being a kind person. You're not doing things for others that you would expect to be done unto you. So it's not like, yeah, it kind of is like, oh, if you're a fucked up person, you're just going to continue to receive fucked up things because you're not moving in a way that you're supposed to.
Right.
When you move in the way that you're destined to, and that comes like subconsciously.
I'll amend that and say when you move in your purpose.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, when you move in your purpose, everything around you falls in line.
Definitely.
And it happens subconsciously because one day it can just hit you like a ton of bricks and you not even realize it. And you wake up and you're like, okay, there's something that I feel I need to do. I don't know why, but I feel I need to do it. And it pulls you. It's gravitational. Literally, what you're supposed to do is gravitational to you. And it becomes second nature. And when you start moving in your purpose, you are rewarded for it. In small ways and then in larger ways and ways that don't seem super big, but it all means something. It's all adding up to where you're supposed to be and exactly where you're supposed to go. And a lot of the times it's out of your control. And honestly, I learned that the universe rewards like spontaneity from Mr. Jeremy Michael Vasquez and his free spiritedness.
Instagram at Jeremy Michael Vasquez. He was the first or the second episode of the diagnosis. Listen to that episode, man. It's a wonderful episode. We talk about black male educators and why we need to be in the school, and we talk about this was right after Nipsey Hussle passed, and we talked about how that passing and that assassination, he didn't pass, he got assassinated. Nipsey Hussle was assassinated, and how as a black man we felt that pain. But yeah,
it's a wonderful episode. Honestly, I love that episode. I listened to that on my lunch break. That impacted a humongous conversation at my job with one of my coworkers who had never seen that perspective before. Yeah. And it made him want to engage in the conversation. So, shout out to y'all.
Shout out to the diagnosis, helping people, man. This is what it's about. So before we get out of here, I like to do this. I like to give my listeners something to think about for, during their lives, during their weeks, and this is called The Diagnosis. It's my favorite part, man. Like, this is my favorite part of the whole show. Diagnosis number 1. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself.
Period.
Forgive yourself. You are not the person that you were yesterday. Give yourself the grace of making mistakes. And learn from them. Make amends and make them better. Make better decisions. Or at least make better mistakes. Number 2. Your purpose and your destiny and how you get there is all up to you. If you didn't, reach out to certain people, you wouldn't be in the place you are now.
Man. If I didn't step into that first room, I wouldn't be around anybody that I have spoken of today.
Yeah, exactly.
The circle that I am surrounded with, whatever this is.
Yes.
This is...
You have a seat at the table.
It's beautiful.
It is.
And, I'm grateful eternally for it every single day. There are moments when I just look up and say thank you. Because of where I'm at right now. I wasn't here 6 months ago.
Exactly.
6 months ago, I was not here.
Right.
I was shy and closed off and had never spoken a word of my own writing to anybody.
Right. Now you got 3-4 shows under your belt.
Man. Got
featured multiple times.
Feeling pretty good. As to do some things in the future as well. So
right.
That being put in the same level with other people that I admire, that alone got compared to my favorite poet.
Yeah.
That in itself was mind-blowing to me, and I never thought that I would be here.
And you deserve where you are.
And it's all because I started walking in what I believed was my purpose.
Walking your purpose. 4 or 3. Walking your purpose. You have to. And with this decade ending, it's important for everybody to walk in their purpose. So, and hold your friends accountable. I hold her accountable all the time.
Oh my gosh, yes he does. It's annoying. Jiminy Cricket, for real. Literally my conscience.
I'll call her and be like, do the piece right now. Do the piece right now. Nope, do it again.
Right now?
Yes, right now. Do it.
Stand up.
Stand up. Yes. Stand up. Do it like you perform. I don't want to see you sit down as you perform. No, stand up. Come on now. But yeah, we need those people to hold each other accountable. We need to be held accountable. And, you know, here's a toast. Here's a audio toast to the new, not the new year, but the new decade. So cheers.
Cheers.
So where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at superduperlyric, spelled SUPERDUPERLYRIC. No spaces, underscores, or periods in that. I will follow you. And thank you so much for listening to me babble.
She is a babbler.
Indeed.
You know where to find us, man. Best Med Pod on Instagram. Shout out to the DefyLife Network. Always showing love. The show is powered by the DefyLife Network. Find them on Instagram. Go DefyLife. Go DefyLife. DEFY. If you don't know how to spell, Best Man Pod. It's your man Simba Roar back in this thing one more time, bruh. And we out. Peace.